G'day guys, welcome to the tripod. My name's Alex, and this will actually be the final edition of Punting 101 for 2018. The year has surely flown by. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a casino edition of Punting 101. Generally we talk about sports betting, how to maximize your winnings, how to minimize your losses, etc. But today I thought, fuck me, like you guys, it's nearly New Year's Eve. You guys are going to be stumbling into a casino, maybe, at midnight on New Year's Eve or whatever you're going to do. You're probably going to be a little bit intoxicated. So you might as well know which games to play and how to play them in order to minimize your losses. I will start off by saying that no one can give you a foolproof method to beat the casino. But what we can do is discuss, how to make your odds pretty much 50-50, or at least as close to that as you possibly can. And we talk about expected value, or EV, all the time in sports betting, like a general line bet of $1.90, that's around 5% house edge to the bookie. And likewise at the casino, different games have a different house edge. So you just want to find the games that have the lowest possible house edge, and that's going to help you win more money on the day. Now, I understand you're probably going to be drunk when you're stumbling into the casino, whether it's on New Year's Eve or whatever day. So it pays to kind of learn about this stuff and what games you're going to play and how you're going to play them before you end up there. So that way you can say, look, I'm cooked. Let's go to the blackjack table, and at least you know basically what you're going to do there when you arrive. So I'm going to go through probably the 4 most popular games that have a very, very good house edge for the punter. And I'll go through basic strategy, and I'll let you know where to find more info if you're that way inclined. But it certainly helps to research this kind of stuff, because whether or not you think you're going to end up at the casino at the end of the night, we all know how some of those nights end after you've gone through a couple of 6-packs or whatever. Sometimes there's just a magnet that draws you to the cas. So let's go through these. First up, I won't spend too much time on this one, is Baccarat. Lots of people know how to play, a lot of people don't, but this is quite a good game to play for the punter. Essentially, it's a very, very easy game to play. Basically, you sit on a table, the dealer gets 2 cards, you get 2 cards, and whoever gets closest to 9 essentially wins. But the edge on this is around 1 to 1.5%. So if you are going to play Baccarat, it's good to know the house edge essentially. If you bet on the dealer, the house edge is about 1%. And that's getting very, very good. 1% house edge is very good. That's if you bet on the dealer. If you bet on the player for Baccarat, the house edge is about 1.25%. So you might say, well, isn't that a lot better if I just bet on the dealer every time? Well, yes, for your bank account it is. But as we'll get through these, if you're betting on the dealer, most people at a Baccarat table are betting on the player. So if you're the only fucking dickhead that's betting on dealer and you're celebrating drunk when you win, that means everyone else at the table is losing. So sometimes for your own sanity and for your own fun, you can sacrifice that 0.25% edge to just have a bit more fun and not have everyone at the table fucking glare at you when you're winning on the dealer bet and everyone else is losing on the player bet. So Baccarat, solid game to play, 1.25% edge if you're playing the player bet. If the table is empty, there's no one there, go ahead, play the dealer, because it's better odds and you're not going to have anyone fucking giving you the stink eye when you celebrate when you win, because no one else will be losing. Next up, I'll get to Blackjack. Most of you know the basic rules of Blackjack. Obviously, dealer gets 2 cards, you get 2 cards. Whoever gets closest to 21 wins without busting, obviously. So if just the average player is playing Blackjack, with no strategy whatsoever, just, your average punter, the house edge is about 3 to 5%. But if you are using basic strategy, it's not that hard to learn. If you're using basic strategy, the house edge becomes 0.5%. That is pretty much as good as you can get in a casino for house edge. That means, you're winning close to 50% of the time, and you're going to have to get very unlucky to lose all your money. But that's probably the best chance that you have of winning money, is just learning blackjack basic strategy. It's very difficult to count cards these days because most casinos have 6 decks and they reshuffle between each hand, so it's almost impossible to do that. But if you use basic strategy, you're about 0.5% house edge. I guess, yeah, a few things to note here. Like I said, try and memorize blackjack basic strategy. It doesn't take that long. Just hop onto Google, look up blackjack basic strategy. It'll come up with a card that tells you exactly what to do when the dealer has what and you have what. I've memorized it. If you're not going to be able to memorize it in time, what you can do is just fucking print the motherfucker out, cut it out, put it in your pocket, get your buddy to stand behind you. If you get into a hand where you don't know what you want to do, just look back at your bud and he'll say, hit, stand, double, whatever. And they don't care if you carry a little card in there. It's not cheating, it's not counting cards. It's just, you're not going to have to use it that often, but just when you get into a hand where you don't know exactly what to do. But for you absolute newbies out there, if you're playing blackjack, if you're on 17 or more, you always stand. You never ever hit if you're 17 or more, no matter what the dealer has. If you have under 17, so 16 or under, and the dealer has 7 or higher, you are always hitting up until you get to 17. And some people shit their pants about this, and I've seen it time and time again. Someone lands on 15 or 16 and the dealer has a 10, and they're thinking, oh shit, I'm gonna stand, I'm gonna stay, I don't want to fucking bust. This is a bad strategy to use. It's not going to maximize your winnings long term, and it's giving you the worst possible chance to win. And the last one is, if you're a noob, most casinos allow this, 9, 10 or 11, you can double. But basically, the standard rule is if you get 11 in your first 2 cards, you always double, no matter what the dealer has. So if you get an 11, you shove the extra chips out there, tell the dealer you want to double, and they'll let you. And the other basic rule is if you have a 10 in your first 2 cards, you double as well up until the dealer has a 9. So if the dealer has a 10, you don't double. But anything under a 10, and you would double if you get to 10. The next game that has a very good bookie edge is craps. Not every casino has this, but most of the bigger casinos have this. And you might think to yourself, oh fuck, some of these casino games, with the better edge, they're not as fun. I want to play fun games. Craps is probably the most fun game that you can play in a casino. You've seen it in all the fucking movies. You know what it is. You roll a couple dice. Everyone's around the table going mental. It's fun. And that is one of the best games that you can play in terms of expected value in the entire casino. So I'll break it down for you guys. You might want to read a bit about, just how the rules work and that kind of thing. But, the dealer will help you out if you want to. But essentially there's a pass bet and a don't pass bet. A pass bet, the house edge is 1.41%. That's what most players at the table play. They'll all play the pass bet. It's what all the players play. And you'll kind of all be cheering together if the pass bet wins. If it doesn't win, that's called the don't pass bet. If you bet on that, you get a slightly better house edge, 1.36% rather than 1.41. But same as the Baccarat, like I was saying, if you're betting don't pass, you're the dickhead cheering when everyone else is losing. So, to sacrifice that 0.05% edge, it is more fun to play the pass bet. But here's the thing. So most of these games, at the casino come with some sort of house edge, right? But craps, your first bet on the pass line comes with that edge. I just told you the house edge is 1.41%. Your follow-up bet behind it is exactly 0%. The house doesn't take an edge on that at all. You get paid out exactly what you should. So just basic strategy for craps table, especially if you don't want to spend too much, is to put the minimum bet on the pass line, and then once they've rolled and once everyone's putting their follow-up bets on, you put the maximum that you possibly can behind that. So sometimes, let's say you put out $10 or whatever, and then they roll the dice, and then you're allowed to make a follow-up bet behind it. You put the maximum behind there, and depending what the roll is, it could be $20, $30, $40, or even $50 behind it. But always put the maximum bet behind, because that is a pure 50-50 proposition. And it's one of the most fun games you can play in the casino. It is a lot of fun. So, yeah, and like I said, you know, it is more fun if you're playing the pass bet rather than the don't pass bet, because everyone at the table will be playing the pass bet. For those guys that are just going to rock up at the casino and not kind of, you know any strategy or anything like that, you know, obviously Blackjack, you're kind of going to need to memorize some shit. Craps, you're going to need to kind of memorize some shit of how much to bet and that kind of thing. But like games like Baccarat, like I said, require no skill whatsoever. And same with Roulette. You know, everyone likes to play Roulette. And it's not the worst game to play in the casino. It's a 2.7% house edge for a 1-0. You know, and you guys know what I'm talking about. 1 green 0 on the wheel. If there's 2 green zeros on the wheel, that goes up to 5.3% house edge. So what I would say to you guys is essentially, if you see a roulette wheel with 2 green zeros, just don't play it. The odds are not in your favor for that. I mean, they're obviously not in your favor for a 1 green 0 roulette wheel either. But you know, it's double the edge for the casino. And for, you know, if you got your misses there or whatever, and you don't, you know, roulette's a lot more fun than like sitting there and fucking, you know, concentrating on blackjack or whatever. But roulette with 1-0 at 2.7% house edge is not the most terrible proposition you can make on New Year's Eve. The last few ones I'll just go through quickly. Caribbean Stud, if you do want to learn that one. Me and Jacob, I know we got absolutely plastered one day and played some Caribbean Stud and we won a lot of money. It was before we knew what the edges were, but that's a 5% house edge, so not the worst, but also not the best. If you want to play 3-card poker, it goes up to 7.5%. But one of the worst games that you can possibly play in the casino is that fucking big wheel, the giant wheel. It's got the numbers on it, 1, 2, 3, 5, up to 20 or whatever. That is the worst possible game that you can play in the casino. If you're betting to double your money on that giant wheel, the edge is 11%. And if you're betting money to, you know, win 20 times your money or whatever, then the edge goes up to 22%. So when you see that giant wheel and the hot chick spinning it in the middle of the casino, it looks tempting, but it is one of the worst games that you can possibly play at the casino. So, yeah, that'll pretty much do it, guys. I think I've covered everything there, but I would say, yeah, the first thing you want to do if you are going out, or, you know, even today or whatever, is just download one of those Blackjack basic strategy cards. Try and memorize as much as you can. It's not that hard. There's only, you know, a few hands that the dealer has and you have that you have to question yourself, but most of it will become pretty straightforward for you. And just memorize that. If you don't think you've memorized it all, just stick it in your pocket. If you get into a tricky hand, just pull the motherfucker out. People at the table aren't going to say anything. The dealer's not going to say anything. It's not illegal to have a basic strategy card in your pocket and look at it while you're doing it. But yeah, just try and memorize as much as you can, because you don't want to be sitting there for like a minute fumbling through your pocket, getting your card out while everyone else is looking at you like you're a muppet. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. Yeah, have fun. Merry Christmas for a couple of days ago. Hope you have a good new year. And yeah, we'll catch you next year, guys. Obviously, tomorrow we do have our NFL Week 17 preview. A lot of bets that I've looked into just recently. So we're going to have a few bets on that one. We're going for our 4th straight winning weekend in a row on the NFL. So yeah, tune in then. It'll be 10 a.m. Queensland time for the Week 17 NFL breakdown. And yeah, also the Tripod app is back up and running now after being down for a couple of days. So make sure you hop in there. And if you haven't got it yet, download it. It's free on the App Store and Google Play. We will catch you guys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. See you then.